Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So today we are going to learn step by step how we can draw a corn or oak nuts. So I'm going to use all these size of needle pens. These are 05, 08 and 005 mm. You can use normal ball pen as well. If you don't have all these needle pen, it's totally fine. And with the help of pencil we are going to create a basic guideline for ourselves. So create a triangle kind of structure in which direction you want your nuts to be. So I'm creating two nuts here, more tilted towards left and right, and then you can convert this into something like this, like having one pointed end, and then you can create the cap which we see in the nuts, right? So I'm not sure what we call that particular thing, but I think we can say it as cap itself for the reference point for this particular video. Shape and size might be vary based on whatever you like to draw. So I'm keeping it little pointed, but I think this should be more on the oval shape. And then you can create a cap for both the nuts, both the acorn. So extend your length a little bit from both the side and then create a curve kind of structure. So this is more like half moon, we can say. So something like this you can create for both the nuts. The composition is totally up to you. You don't need to copy the composition from anywhere. You just need to think like how many corns you needed. You can keep a few at behind, like few things are visible, few things are not. So something like this you can do, or you can create so many leaves around it. You can create only one leaf, or you are just fine with creating these acorn, that is also fine. For mine I have created two nuts and then I'm creating leaves. So for the leaves you need to create vines and then sub vines like this, and then we need serration in the leaves. So as per vines that we have defined, you need to serrate the leaves, not pointed but curvy in structure. So I'm creating all these based on my sub vines that I have for the leaf, and then you can keep little bigger, little smaller one serration. So totally fine. So same thing I'm doing again for this particular leaf as well. Now we are done with the basic structure, basic guidelines for nuts and leaves. Now we can drop all the unwanted pencil mark. We need just a reference point, so it's fine to keep it lighter, and then we can trace everything with the help of pen. I'm using 08 mm pen to trace everything, and I'm going to do it quickly. You can take all your time to trace it precisely, and if you want to do some changes in the structure you can do while tracing, because this is the final stage, otherwise you will not able to do any changes further. So let's trace everything. If you don't have all these fancy pens, don't worry about it. You can use normal ball pen as well. It's totally fine. We are going to do sketching as well. For that also you can use normal ball pen. Now we're done with this tracing. Now we need to do some extra detailing in the structure. So let's do it. So for the caps, I don't know what it is, but I'm considering it as cap. I'm creating some patterns like this, small leaf kind of structure, and in between two you can create one more, and likewise you will move ahead and fill the gap. So this is the first way to do this, and this is the effective way to do these kind of detailing. And then in the inner corner you can create some bold pattern like this, just to highlight few of the structure in between. So either you can go through all the inner corner, or you can do randomly in between as well. So it's totally fine what you like to do. based on whatever time you have to draw all these things. And then once done, you can do some extra shading in between these structure. So I'm not going through all the sections that I have, but I'm doing this for few in between. And likewise, you can create the cap for the nuts. Now this is more hectic way to do these things, but I like this way much. But if you don't have much time, you don't want to spend too much time in these kind of detailing, you can do something like this. So create curves parallel to each other from inside to outside throughout the structure. And then create cross curve lines in the opposite direction, again filling all the area. So this is also fine. This structure is way simple to draw. And then again for the inner corners you can create some bold pattern. So likewise we did for the first one, you can do the same thing for this particular one as well. And then you can do some hatching process around the structure to make it little darker. We have so many methods as far as drawing is concerned, like hatching, contouring, cross contouring. I have already explained all these things in my previous video. I can give you a link into a description section so that you can refer to that video and learn all these sketching methods. Now we are doing hatching process around the nut area as well. So I'm creating parallel lines close to each other so that I can get some dark texture around the corn area. And then you can do some random patterns like this, creating some parallel lines. Now you can do some cross hatching as well. So cross hatching means creating cross lines around the lines that we have created earlier, and then accordingly you will get shades. So you will get lighter shade, darker shade based on how many lines you have, how close they are, whether you are doing only hatching or you are doing cross hatching. So all things depend on what kind of a sketching method you are using. And then hatch all the area with some lines at distance. So we are shading it, but the lines are at distance, so that's why it's not that much dark. So something like this we can do for the second one as well. So I'm showing you only one, and then you can repeat the same kind of stuff for the second one as well. You don't have to copy mine, just use your own way to do all these things. In between area between the cap and the corn, the area should be little in darker shade, and then you can do some contouring process. So difference between hatching and contouring is, hatching means creating parallel lines, but contouring means going with the flow. So same thing I'm going to repeat for the leaves as well once we are done with the corns. And again we don't have to do same kind of stuff throughout the leaves. Somewhere you can do cross hatching to get some extra shade, somewhere you can do some hatching process to get some lighter shade. The more parallel lines you will create, the more extra shade you will get. And distance is also something important to understand. So if you are hatching, creating parallel lines at distance, you will get lighter shade. So those things you need to consider while shading all these things, and I insist all of you to learn all these methods, because while doing all these things you can make your drawing more beautiful and attractive. Again I'm showing only one leaf. You can create multiple and try all these sketching process. And we are almost done with today's drawing. You can create your own composition. You can create so many leaves and cones. You can put some color into it. So that is the first way to paint all these things. And as far as composition is concerned, likewise I have created this one having one corn at the back side, so half part is hidden. So this is also you can do if you want to. And please do let me know if you guys have any kind of feedback for me, and thank you so much for watching my videos. See you guys in the next video.